Okay, welcome to Rinehimerbaker's Where is Cloud Accounting Technology Headed webinar. Today, we are going to focus on the cloud, the benefits companies already have by moving to the cloud, and where we see technology going in the future. Before we get started, I would like to introduce our two team members speaking today, Tanya Lilly and Michael Garrison. If you'd like to find out more about our speakers, please check out our About page on our website. A few housekeeping notes. As they're speaking, please put any questions you have in the chat box and I will ask them all at the end. If we run out of time, we'll email you an answer this afternoon. Lastly, we will be recording this webinar and I will send a link later today for you to revisit. Let's get started. According to Accounting Today, 58% of large companies use cloud accounting, and according to Accountancy Age, by 2020, 78% of small businesses will rely solely on cloud technology. This really demonstrates just how important the cloud is becoming to companies across every vertical of business. Before we get to the agenda, I'd like to see how familiar everyone is with the cloud. A poll will be appearing shortly. So if everyone can see the poll, just go ahead and click how familiar you are with the cloud. I'll give you about 45 seconds to choose your answer. Okay, great. We've got 100% participation. So it looks like we have one that is at somewhat, but currently doesn't use the cloud, and the rest at 80% of love it, and they have moved everything to the cloud. So that's great. Everyone's really familiar with it. And I can share those results. Okay, so here's our agenda. We're going to start with what is a cloud-based solution, then what are the benefits of a cloud-based solution, where are cloud-based solutions headed, and then Rinehimerbaker and the cloud. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Tanya.
Thanks, Catherine. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay, so let's just start with the basics. What is a cloud accounting software or a cloud accounting solution? It's basically any accounting software that's accessed remotely via the internet or other cloud service provider. So in the past, accounting systems were maintained on-site or on-premise, and in the future of accounting software is that it's hosted on the cloud. So let's talk about why moving to the cloud has become so popular. There are many reasons that people are moving to the cloud. I'm going to discuss three of those today, and they are collaboration, automation, and cost savings. So let's start with collaboration. Employees who can access data via the cloud have greater visibility within an organization, and this allows them to collaborate more effectively, even if they're working remotely or if their teams are scattered over different locations. You can all probably relate to a time when we used to save our files on a storage stick, or we used to email them to someone else for them to make changes, and then they would email them back. Version control was a nightmare. But many of you, based on our first polling question, are probably already using cloud technology for file storage like Box or Google Sheets or Citrix ShareFile. So if you're doing that, you've probably already experienced the improved collaboration by using cloud technology. Another thing about collaboration is that if you think about it, the accounting or general ledger system you're using is like the backbone of your organization, with other systems feeding in data into it. So for example, your sales teams are probably using a CRM system like Salesforce.com, and your HR and payroll department, they have their own systems for handling their function. Data from those other functions or systems are the basis for transactions being recorded in the accounting system. So in a cloud-based world where systems are integrated, your teams can be working off the same data at the same time with their own login. Think about an opportunity being marked to one status by your sales team in the CRM. In a cloud-based world where the systems are integrated, This event can trigger creation of a new customer in the general ledger, and with a few more clicks, the contract and detailed line items can be synced over, and the customer billing and even payments can be automated from there. Another example is integrating the payroll system to the general ledger so that payroll entries, journal entries, can be recorded automatically after each payroll is finalized. That can be done either at a summary or a detailed employee level. That data can then be used to compare actuals to budget or build a forecast or budget for future periods. So as you can see in these examples, the goal is to have one source of truth for all your data. Now let's talk a little bit about the second area, and that has to do with automation. Automation of processes can save accountants time that they would normally spend manually entering data, sometimes the same data twice in two different systems. And instead, they can spend their time focusing on what the story is that the data is telling. This leads to increased job satisfaction for accountants because now they have time for analysis. A study printed in Forbes magazine noted that cloud computing reduces labor costs by 50%. So imagine if you're spending hours each day or week entering data and now it becomes automated, your role shifts to one of review and you have time to start analyzing the numbers and predicting the future. One area where companies are increasingly utilizing automation is around their accounts payable process. Here's a couple of statistics around AP automation. According to Vanguard Systems, AP automation can save $16 per invoice, depending on the size of your company. And according to Mineral Tree, a cloud-based AP provider, AP professionals who automate invoice capture and payments save an average of 1 hour per day. So we'll talk a little bit more about AP automation specifically in a few minutes. Before we do that, let's consider the third reason why many firms are moving to the cloud, and that's illustrated in this slide, and it has to do with cost savings. IT costs to maintain on-premise software include paying for resources to maintain and upgrade software, time to rewrite integrations when new releases come out, purchasing and maintaining hardware, network, security, and more. With cloud computing, companies pay an ongoing subscription fee that covers all these areas. Of course, there may also be a one-time fee for setup and training, but even so, you can see how cloud computing can really save money. So I mentioned we talk a little bit more about AP automation. This slide shows a quote from one of our customers where we implemented an automated procure-to-pay process. I thought we could talk a few minutes about this specific example so you can see the positive impacts of automating. This customer is a high-end restaurant who receives about 500 bills a month. The customer has the ability to issue POs to their vendors, but in most cases, the vendor provides a copy of the bill when the shipments are received, and the receiver approves the bill, noting any discrepancies for items received if necessary on the bill. The bill is then scanned and delivered to a central inbox where it's then automatically coded line by line using OCR technology. Once the coding is reviewed by the AP processor, the bill is automatically synced simultaneously to the general ledger system as well as an automated payment solution. From there, bills are automatically routed for approval to the responsible manager based on the vendor. So for example, wine and beer purchases are approved by the bar manager, whereas food purchases would be approved by the chef. Once the bills are approved, a payment approver logs in to the automated AP solution and approves payments, which are sent directly to vendors either electronically or by check. So this automated AP process eliminates all manual entry, which reduces potential for errors and saves time. The solution also provides online document storage and audit trails. It eliminates all check printing, stuffing envelopes, and mailing. As a result of this automation, you can see the time savings noted here in the slide. But why is this important? Well, the customer is now able to perform detailed spend analysis and quickly analyze and react to fluctuations in their cost of sales in real time. And their month-end close is completed within 3 business days of the following month, giving owners and managers access to financial results quickly. They can even access these reports online and drill down on the details. So accounts payable is just one area where companies are seeing real results of automation. So let's spend the next few minutes talking about where cloud accounting technology is headed. Gone are the old ways of accountants simply reporting what happened. Now we're focused on why it happened, which is quickly moving to what will happen next and what should we do about it. There's a lot of focus on moving to a continuous general ledger, having real-time data, and shortening or even eliminating the month-end close. This requires finance teams to move away from manual work and utilize technology to deliver strategic value so that organizations can further their mission, grow, and scale more quickly. As you heard in the example we just discussed, automation simplifies work processes, it streamlines accounting operations, eliminates manual work, and allows stakeholders to react and make decisions more quickly based on accurate information. Embedded machine learning and artificial intelligence capabilities are impacting three areas specifically. They are accounting, trust, and insights. So an example of how automation is impacting accounting is the capturing of data. So for example, think about the simple task of submitting an expense report. Today, you may have to make a copy of a receipt, fill out a report, attach the receipt, email it to your manager, and so on from there. If you're familiar with communications tools like Slack or Microsoft Teams, imagine you can just snap a picture of your receipt, attach it in your mobile app, your Slack or Teams app, and using conversational AI, say, submit expense report, and the system would automatically read the vendor name, amount, and date off the receipt. You simply review, add any missing information, and click submit, and it's automatically routed to your manager and entered into the accounting system from there. Another example of data capture being automated is around time tracking. So if you track your time and you're like me, you're probably doing this after the fact. But imagine having your time tracking automated based on meetings scheduled and sent emails from your Microsoft Outlook app. So those are just two examples of how automation is making simple tasks easier. The second area has to do with being able to trust your data. How can AI and machine learning improve in this area? Systems can analyze historical information and patterns and highlight risky transactions that seem out of the norm. For example, if you have been recording rent expense at $5,000 a month and suddenly the entry is $50,000 a month, a warning message or email can be sent to notify you that the entry is higher risk and may require additional review. Or the system can notify you if certain transactions are out of compliance with predefined policies. And the third area, AI is also being used to analyze and make intelligent decisions. For example, software as a service companies will soon be able to predict the future for customer renewal and churn rates. This is the first step in being able to predict cash flow and driving smarter business decisions. Another example might be using AI to identify top at-risk accounts based on predictive data, and then executives can proactively create an engagement plan to mitigate potential risks before they happen. So these are just a few areas where AI will have a huge impact on how accountants and really all of us work in the future. So I'm going to pause here and I'll turn it back over to Catherine. I think we have another polling question.
We do. So before we start the next section of our webinar, I wanted to see how happy you are with your current accounting solution. So 1 being the highest or the lowest and 5 being the highest. Choose your selection and I will launch the poll now. So I'll give you another 45 seconds to just select how you're feeling. Okay, this will be the last call for any answers. Okay, great. So we've got quite a range here. So we've got 17% at a 2, 33% at a 4, and 50% at 5. So some very happy people. Okay, and now I'm going to turn it over to Michael.
Thanks, Catherine. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay, great. So I hope some of the information that we've shared with you this afternoon drives you to further explore what cloud accounting technology can do for your business. At rinehimerbaker, most of the software that we use is cloud-based, and it's a key component that we look for when we evaluate a new product. It's so important to us because it keeps us agile. We have minimal IT staff, the security features and data redundancy are excellent, and the ease of setup and implementation, along with the recurring updates, keeps our team from having any real downtime. We partnered with Sage Intacct and a handful of other best-in-class software providers to help our customers increase their operational efficiencies. Moving to an integrated best-in-class solution allows you to use a product that fits your workflows and achieve better results when it comes to managing your business. Some of the tools that we use are AP automation. We've got a couple of providers, some AR automation tools, payroll providers, as well as our GL and ERP system to do robust reporting all in real time with access anywhere. So cloud accounting solutions are built to scale, and with different areas of automation, they can help free a business from the challenges that growth brings along with it. If you're interested in hearing more about the cloud accounting solutions that we offer and how we think they can help your business, please feel free to reach out to one of us after the webinar. Our goal is to understand your business and determine what your requirements are now and what they may be in the future. As a team, we're consultants that are Big Four trained and have Fortune 200 experience. We use the solutions that we deploy on a daily basis, and we truly believe in their capabilities because we've seen them in action. One thing we repeatedly hear from our customers is that they wish they had prioritized updating their software and made a switch sooner.
Okay, great. Thank you, Michael. So now it's time for the question and answer. If you haven't already, please type your question into the Q&A at the top. And right now, I'll just go ahead and get started on asking a few questions. The first one is going to be, do you think companies will continue to go to a 100% cloud-based solution, or will there be a new trend of a combo on-premise and cloud?
So it's funny, I think probably about 5 or 10 years ago, a lot of businesses were really hesitant to move to a cloud-based platform, primarily stating concerns of security, their data ownership. But now one of the things that we see with our customers and just in general is a lot of folks and businesses moving to a cloud-based solution because of the robust security features that they offer. Most businesses probably don't have enough IT budget to spend to even rival the level of security that you get with moving to a cloud solution. And as for data ownership, most products have a pretty strict service level agreement that ensures that your data is yours and you've got guaranteed access to it.
Okay. So we've got another one here that says, how long does it take to implement a cloud-based solution?
I'll take that one, Catherine. I mean, that's a great question. And the answer is like, it really depends on the complexity of the business and the solution that's being implemented. But just to give people an idea, I mean, if you're looking at automating your accounts payable processes, that's something that can probably be done in as little as a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. But if you're implementing that along with a brand new cloud-based ERP solution, then that's probably going to be a little bit longer implementation time. You're probably looking at a few months, just to give people a general idea.
Okay. So now we have, can the open API work for software solutions that companies have on-premise?
Generally, yes. That depends on the on-premise solution. So the API can be used to connect to like a web-based. So Sage Intacct has a fully open API, and you can use an on-premise solution with a third-party application to get data exported from the on-prem solution, run it through the third party, and post it into Sage Intacct using the open API. So it sort of depends. Most on-premise solutions have the ability to export a flat file, and then it becomes kind of routinely doing that and moving it somewhere to allow the open API to kind of grab it and post it.
Great. Are there certain types of industries that don't work in the cloud?
I can't think of one customer that we've gotten a different industry that the cloud didn't really offer some level of benefit to them.
Yeah, I agree with that. I can't either.
That's great. We've got one more. And are there any other benefits of the cloud that aren't discussed often?
You know, when my first job about 10 years ago was a tax and audit position in a small public accounting firm, about 50 or 60 employees. And when a computer would go down in the middle of tax season or in the middle of an audit and it had to be replaced, we used so much on-prem software that it took about 24 hours of time to load all the software onto a new computer. So you've got, you know, an employee down for 3 days of, you know, no production, no productivity, unless we've got extra machines laying around, which we generally did, but it was just, you know, that was an added thing that we had to do. Once we moved, about a year later, once we moved to a mainly cloud-based solution with the tax software, the audit software, and Office 365, that came down to about 3 or 4 hours, which is, you know, incredible.
Okay, well, it looks like we have answered all the questions. So I just want to thank everyone for your time today. I hope you found the presentation informative. If there's anything else that you think of that you would like, you know, answered, you can reach out to accounting@rinehimerbaker.com and we'd be happy to get back to you. I will also be sending out a follow-up email with this recorded webinar, as well as a contact us form. So that's another place that you can put any questions you have this afternoon. So thank you once again.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.